This is Colin Cowherd, him and Jim Jackson. They're going to talk about LeBron James and how he performed versus the Pacers and how he did virtually beat, the Indiana Pacers by himself. He didn't get a whole lot of help from Kevin Love or Cal Korver or J.R. Smith or Tristan Thompson or Larry Nance Jr. and all the other guys, Rodney Hood. Those guys played good in spurts, but LeBron James, he was tremendous in that series. If he would have had one or two bad games or one bad game, they probably would have got eliminated. So yes, you got to give him a lot of props for that. But let's see what Colin Cowherd going to say.
Mm-hmm. He led in 9 different categories. Right. Okay, minutes, points, field goals made, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. Even in Michael's greatest series I ever saw him, Suns.
Here's the Michael Jordan LeBron James comparison. They always do this, especially Colin Cowherd and Nick Wright. They always. Why do y'all continuously do this to LeBron James? It's not fair to LeBron James to compare him. It's not fair to compare just about anybody to Michael Jordan, short of Kareem or Bill Russell or guys of that ilk or great players like that. But look, stop doing this. Stop comparing him to Michael Jordan. He has his own era to deal with. I think when y'all do that, y'all do LeBron James a disservice because to me it's no comparison. Eye test, whatever test you want to use, there's no comparison to me. But let's see what Colin gonna say.
Even against the Jazz in his most heroic series, he was sick. Multiple players, Kukoc, Rodman, Pippen, Kerr, led in multiple categories.
But see, in all those that you're talking about, all those finals and stuff, guess who was undefeated? That guy right there, MJ, number 23, the original number 23. He was the guy that was undefeated. He beat the Suns, and the Suns had the best record. The Bulls went on the road, won the first 2 games at the Suns Stadium, and the Suns had only lost, a couple games that year at their stadium. And the Bulls won the first 2 games at Phoenix. That to me, that's what sealed the series when they won the first 2 games on the road. And against Utah, when you say he was sick, they won that game, and they won the series. Colin, come on, man, stop it.
Like, just tell me how former NBA players, when they look at LeBron. Now, Jason Whitlock thinks he dominates in all this because he has to, because he's not a great teammate and he's a relegator. I watched that Indiana series, and I'm like, I never saw Magic do that. Magic had Kareem to rebound and James Worthy to block shots.
Well, the problem is that LeBron is such a different anomaly. Too much is given, much is expected. He wants to have this. He always wanted to be the kind of guy that does everything. So now you got it. You got it.
Look at LeBron James' usage rate. His usage rate is very, very high, man. When you got talent like that and you have the ball in your hands like that, much like a Russell Westbrook, that's how you can average a triple-double. With that usage rate and the way that his LeBron James' physical gifts, yes, he's going to dominate on the statistics. He really is going to dominate statistically wise. Unlike Michael Jordan, after his first 5-6 years in the league, the ball was really taken out of his hands a little bit more than about half the time, because of the triangle offense is not predicated on one guy getting a lot of assists or and then these 2 guys play different positions. LeBron James is a small forward. Michael Jordan is a shooting guard. Usually small forwards average more rebounds than shooting guards and point guards. It's just what it is.
Team right now where you have to do everything. Drive the bus, tape ankles, do whatever it takes. And the thing about it is he's so dynamic in what he does. Now, he got help in that end of the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Tristan Thompson had a nice game.
Make no doubt about it. LeBron James is a great player. He's an all-time great player. But stop trying to compare this man to Michael Jordan.
Tristan Thompson, George Hill played extremely well. Okay, so he had the help. But no one in the history of the game has been asked to do as much. Nobody. I don't care who it is. Jordan, early in his career, before he had the talent, okay, when he was playing Orlando, Woolridge,
Quentin Daly,
and Dave Corzine.
Yeah.
Okay, he couldn't carry. When he had 63 against Boston, they lost. Okay, they lost that series.
That's what I'm saying.
When he had 63 against Boston, it was an all-time team, though. Come on, Jim Jackson. You grew up in the same era I grew up in. They had Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, DJ. They had so many great players. They had so many Hall of Famers on that team. Come on, Jim Jackson. Just put things in perspective. That's one thing about people when they tell about history. You have to tell it. You have to put things in perspective. Look at the teams he was playing against back then. The Cavs were strong back then. The Philadelphia 76ers were strong back then when Michael Jordan first came in the league. The Milwaukee Bucks had a decent team back then.
And when LeBron plays like this, he wins. Like Michael scored 1 million points. People forget Michael got swept out of the first round. Michael got, like everybody says, well, Jordan played in the East. Yeah, Detroit was great, and so was Larry Bird and the Celtics. There was garbage at the bottom of the East that Michael was losing to in those first. There's never been a conference where all 8 teams are great.
That's true. There's never been a conference where all 8 teams are great. But the Bulls had lower seeds, so when you have lower seeds, Colin, this is how it works. When you're a 6 or 7 or 8 seed, you play better teams than you. You play the top half of the teams. So you're going to play the better teams. So he was playing the better teams, getting swept out the playoffs by Boston. He was getting beat by Detroit. He was getting beat by guys, by the Cavs early in his career because those teams were better. So when you say he was getting swept out the playoffs and all this stuff, but when Michael Jordan came up into his own, when he started winning, he did not lose a NBA Finals. Say that too when you say it.
In this league forever. It doesn't exist.
And it's just like the Western Conference had the top heavy, but the middle and the lower level wasn't that good. At that time, the East, you had Milwaukee, Detroit, Boston, Atlanta, but then some of the lower level teams. Indiana was there, but not quite until like the 90s. So, again, revisionist history. We want to make Michael seem like he played against all these great talented teams.
You played during his era.
But he didn't. And like LeBron, here's the thing you got to measure against. Transferable assets, okay?
What do you mean?
There are things that LeBron can do now that back in the 90s he would have fit in.
Like what?
Because his ability, because he's big, strong, athletic, can get to the basket. I think his post-up game would have been a little bit more advantageous back then.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, LeBron James would not have been playing or having the ball in his hands as much as he has in his hands right now back then. Because to me, the on-ball defensive pressure was better than it is right now. You were more physical. LeBron James would not been able to break down guys so easily. So he would have still had the ball in his hands, but not as much. He would have been like a Scottie Pippen, like point forward, like he is right now. But he wouldn't have had the usage rate that he has right now. And he would have been asked to get in the post too. He would have been asked to get in the post. Yes, his game translate to then and now. His game translate back then because he's a great player. Like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, all them guys, their careers translate into they can play now. Larry Bird would be he would be a Dirk Nowitzki, but he would be a better version of a Dirk Nowitzki. He would be able to he will be a better rebounder than Dirk Nowitzki because Larry Bird was a 10 rebounder a game player back then. He averaged 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 25 points. One less assist than LeBron James is averaging for his career, and about 2 less points, but a much better rebounder. So Larry Bird would have been a tremendous stretch for the best power forward in the game because I believe he would have played power forward in this game, and the way he could shoot the ball would have been tremendous. He would have been averaging 30 points a game easy. Jordan would have been averaging like 40 points a game in this era. You can't even touch nobody. And the way Jordan went to the line and the way Jordan drove and attacked the basket, no man, it'd be too wild. Isaiah Thomas, guys like that, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf would have did good in this era.
Okay, so he can transfer that what he's doing now back into the day. Michael Jordan, on some instances, he posted up a lot. He caught the ball at the free throw line. This is more of a 3-point shooting game.
See, to me, that's an ignorant way of describing how to play basketball. Now, Jim Johnson just said Michael Jordan would have not really translated into this era because it's a 3-point shooting era, which is the worst shot on the court. What he said about Michael Jordan is the most proficient way to play. Efficient way to play is catching the ball at the elbow, posting up. Those are the best ways, if you got the skill set to score, like Michael Jordan had. He would have shot the 3, not as much as guys shoot a 3 right now because, like I said, it's a bad shot. He wouldn't even have to shoot the 3 that much because he would be getting his scores mid-range, post, at the elbow. And Jim Jackson, you know this, man. Just stop, dude. Just stop with the 3-point era stuff. Y'all act like this is a great era for guys shooting the ball. Yes, guys are shooting the ball a little bit better because they are working on the 3-point shot. But come on, man, it's a lot of times guys going out here shooting 0 for 12 from 3.
My argument with Michael.
It would have been a totally different Michael Jordan in this iteration of basketball today.
You think LeBron's skills...
It wouldn't have been a totally different Michael Jordan. He would have took a couple more threes more, but his game translate better into this era. I'm telling you. His game will translate way better in this era. He will be more proficient. He will score more points. Come on, man.
Transfer better to 12, 15 years ago than Michael's do today.
Yes, because...
So do I.
Because LeBron...
False. Colin Cowherd, you don't know that much about basketball. Jim Jackson, you know about basketball, but you living in the moment. You're not understanding what you're saying. You may go home and look at this tape and see what you're saying. That Michael Jordan would not have translated into today. Come on, man, just stop it.
If you look at his body of work, he's like Magic. Magic can transfer because we're seeing it in Ben Simmons right now.
Right.
A guy that's going to bulldoze you that really can't shoot but still can make plays. We see that with Ben Simmons.
Yeah. So we saw it with Magic. We see it with Ben.
Right.
Who's the Michael Jordan today in the NBA that doesn't shoot threes but is a great 2-shooter? Who is that in the NBA?
It's
like DeMar DeRozan.
Well, but
Colin Cowherd, I know you ain't just say DeMar DeRozan. He's not even the same stratosphere. Look at Jim Jackson's face. He's not even in the same stratosphere as Michael Jordan.
Not as much. DeMar will post up, which is good. DeMar will post up.
Now you saying a few minutes ago you said Michael Jordan game wouldn't have translated because he's post up and he shoot at the elbow. Now you saying he will post up. So now you saying that the post up is a good thing though, Jim Jackson. You know it's a good thing.
And he's gotten better as a 3-point shooter. Okay, Kobe in the situation. Play back in the day, okay, early 90s, okay, 2000s can do it. It's some guys that just, can Larry Bird be a player today? I don't think so.
Jim Jackson, you on the roll, man. I don't know what you had to drink before you came out, but you need to go back out, get sober, and then come back out and say this again. Because Larry Bird game translate into this era perfectly. Because he does what y'all promoting, the 3-point shot. He shot the 3 at what? A high clip, what, 35% in that era, not taking that many threes. Now, he would have took a few more threes, his average would have kicked up to close to 40%, if not 40%. He would have been a Dirk Nowitzki, like I said, but a better rebounder. A much better rebounder than Dirk Nowitzki. And he would have been a willing post-up guy because Larry Bird got in the post. And he could shoot any shot on the court. So what are you talking about, Jim Jackson? You off, man. But look, I'm gonna leave it right here. I don't want Jim Jackson to say anything else is gonna make it seem like he don't know what he's talking about because he played the game. Subscribe to the channel, man. I'm out.